The roar of 1,000,000 men turned to screams of terror. An empire, mighty and vast, crumbles in an instant. Along the Fei River, a devastating rout. An army once unstoppable now dissolved into a panicked, desperate flight. Before this chaos, an unmatched force. 1,000,000 warriors, united under Fu Jian, marched south to conquer. Against them stood merely 80,000, the last defenders of Jin. Their resolve was the empire's final hope. This is the story of the Fei River, a turning point in 4th century China, etched in blood and legend. For centuries, China was fractured. In the north, a new power emerged, eager to unite the land. Emperor Fu Jian of Former Qin. His grand ambition to forge one vast empire, sweeping away all resistance. He amassed a force unprecedented in scale, 1,000,000 strong, a multi-ethnic juggernaut ready to crush dissent. The numbers tell a chilling tale. 1,000,000 invaders against a mere 80,000 defenders. Impossible odds. In the south, nestled behind the Yangtze, lay the Eastern Jin dynasty, the last bastion of Han Chinese rule. Their empire, though culturally rich, was politically fragile, constantly plagued by internal strife and vulnerability. 80,000 men, stretched thin across a vast front. Their resources limited, their morale tested daily. The northern tiger stirred. The full might of Former Qin was poised to descend, threatening total annihilation. The Eastern Jin stood on the precipice. History held its breath, witnessing an empire teetering on the brink. How could any force, so vastly outnumbered, hope to withstand such an overwhelming, seemingly unstoppable invasion? The strategic advantage was all with Fu Jian. His army dwarfed Jin's by more than 10 to 1. This was not just a battle, it was a desperate stand for survival, for culture, for civilization itself. Yet, from these impossible odds, a profound and unexpected victory would emerge. A true miracle. The Fei River, a modest waterway, would soon become the stage for one of history's greatest upsets. We delve into the tactical brilliance, the psychological warfare, and the sheer courage that defined this legend. A testament to the human spirit, proving that overwhelming numbers do not always guarantee ultimate victory. Join us as we unravel the astonishing tale of how 80,000 warriors defied a 1,000,000-strong invading army. The 4th century, a fragmented China, plunged into an era of unprecedented chaos and ceaseless conflict. Northern China was a crucible of kingdoms, where dynasties rose and fell in a blink of an eye. Warlords carved out territories, barbarian tribes swept across the plains, tearing the old world apart. Amidst this turmoil, new powers emerged, seeking to impose order on a land consumed by division. The former Han heartland lay fractured, ripe for a formidable power to finally seize control. From this crucible of conflict, an empire began its meteoric ascent, destined to reshape the future. This was the Former Qin, a state forged in the fires of warfare, rising with an iron will. Its early leaders laid the foundations, consolidating power and expanding influence across the north. Piece by piece, they began to knit together the fractured north, dreaming of a unified realm. Their administration was effective, absorbing defeated peoples and strengthening their burgeoning state's core. Former Qin's might grew, fueled by strategic annexations and the promise of stability for its populace. The stage was set for a truly transformative leader, one capable of an even grander vision. Then came Fu Jian, a force of nature. Emperor of Former Qin, his name would echo through history. Not merely a conqueror, but a visionary. Fu Jian was a man of uncommon intellect and martial prowess. His rule began a golden age for the Former Qin, marked by both military might and enlightened governance. Fu Jian possessed rare strategic genius, outmaneuvering countless rivals on the battlefield and in politics. He consolidated power with cunning and conviction, transforming a regional power into a true empire. Under his iron will, the North was unified, bringing unprecedented stability to a war-weary land. But Fu Jian's vision extended beyond conquest. He aimed for multi-ethnic unification, embracing all peoples. He integrated diverse cultures and peoples, fostering a sense of shared destiny under his benevolent rule. His policies encouraged meritocracy and tolerance, attracting talent from across the disparate northern lands. This multi-ethnic approach created an exceptionally strong, loyal, and formidable military force. Fu Jian's empire became a beacon of power and progress, unmatched in northern China for generations. His reign was a testament to his ambition, forging an empire from chaos, guided by a unique vision. Yet, one burning ambition remained: to conquer the last bastion of Han Chinese rule in the south. The Eastern Jin dynasty, an ancient enemy, represented the final obstacle to a truly unified China. Fu Jian believed it was his destiny to unite the land, eradicating the lingering fragmentation forever. Preparations began for an invasion of unimaginable scale. The south would soon feel the tiger's wrath. The clash was inevitable, a cataclysmic confrontation that would decide the fate of all China. Fu Jian's grand ambition was set to ignite a war of empires, an epic struggle for ultimate dominion. After the fall of the Western Jin, a new dynasty rose in the south, clinging to ancestral lands. The Eastern Jin existed precariously, a shadow of past glory, constantly threatened by northern invaders. Within its opulent halls, the court simmered with mistrust, stability a fleeting illusion for all. Decades of internal struggles had fractured the court. Power, not unity, was often the true prize. Political infighting was rampant. Ambitious families vied for influence, weakening the dynasty from within. Diverse factions emerged, each with their agenda. Loyalty to the throne often paled before personal gain. Even the emperor's authority was often constrained, a pawn in the intricate games of powerful clans. Corruption spread silently, a creeping poison. Resources meant for defense were siphoned away. This constant disunity drained vital energy, leaving the dynasty vulnerable to external threats. Their borders were extensive, their resources strained. Jin's vulnerabilities were painfully apparent to all. The Yangtze River offered a natural barrier, yet also a critical artery, needing constant vigilance. The military, though disciplined, was often undermanned and under-equipped, a reflection of state neglect. From the north, the former Qin dynasty grew stronger, their shadows lengthening over Jin lands. Despite their flaws, the Jin embodied a deep-seated cultural identity, a legacy stretching back millennia. They were the inheritors of Han civilization, guardians of traditions, art, and philosophy. This southern identity, distinct from the nomadic north, fueled a powerful desire for self-preservation. It was a desperate will to survive, to protect their way of life, that pulsed through Jin's heart. This spirit began to galvanize leaders, forging an unlikely unity in the face of existential threat. Figures like Xie An and Xie Xuan would rise, their leadership becoming the linchpin of Jin's defense. They would inspire their soldiers, reminding them of their homeland, their heritage, their duty. The populace, too, stirred. Farmers, artisans, and scholars prepared for the inevitable confrontation. Faced with a common foe, internal divisions momentarily receded. Survival became the unifying cry. Sacrifice was understood. Every life, every home, was now part of a larger, desperate struggle. The stakes were immense. Failure meant the annihilation of their culture, their very existence. They faced not just conquest, but absorption into a different world, losing their unique identity forever. This was the Eastern Jin's precarious position, on the precipice of their ultimate desperate stand. A fragile unity, born of sheer necessity, bound them together. Their destiny hung in the balance. With the northern horde approaching, the Jin prepared for a battle that would decide their fate. The northern threat was gargantuan, a million-strong shadow falling upon their cherished homeland. For the Jin, survival would require more than courage. It would demand a true miracle. In 383 AD, Emperor Fu Jian of Former Qin gazed south, his ambition burning. A unified China was his destiny. He issued a decree that would shake the foundations of the land. The south would fall. From every corner of his vast empire, the call to arms echoed. Mobilization for an unprecedented invasion began. The logistical marvel of this mobilization was staggering. Fu Jian planned for war on an epic scale. Food, weapons, and equipment poured into assembly points. The sheer scale hinted at the terror to come. An unprecedented million-man army was taking shape. Every clan, every tribe, every subject answered the emperor's call. Foundries worked tirelessly, creating weapons for the colossal force. The sounds of war production filled the air. Engineers constructed vital infrastructure, anticipating every obstacle. This was an invasion meticulously planned and executed. Ordinary men became soldiers overnight, swelling the ranks. Their fear was matched only by the emperor's iron will. Rivers became highways for war. A relentless flow of supplies ensured the army would not falter. Land routes were choked with the logistical burden. Fu Jian left nothing to chance in his conquest plan. Thousands of archers would unleash a storm of arrows. The Jin defenses would face an overwhelming barrage. This was no homogeneous army. It was a mosaic of tribes, cultures, and former foes, all united under one banner. Xianbei warriors, renowned for their horsemanship, brought unmatched mobility and striking power to the vanguard. The emperor's own Dai people formed the core infantry, resolute and loyal. They were the spearhead of the invasion. From the west came the skilled Qiang archers, their arrows promising death from afar. Few could withstand their precision. Even subjugated Han populations contributed their manpower. Fu Jian had successfully harnessed vast, diverse human resources. Former adversaries, now subjects, marched side by side. Fu Jian's genius lay in unifying these disparate peoples. Finally, the command was given. The former Qin army, 1 million strong, began its overwhelming advance southward. Dust motes danced in the sky, heralding their relentless progress. The earth itself trembled under their march. Step by relentless step, the horde pressed on. There seemed no end to the ranks of Fu Jian's warriors. The pulse of war beat steadily. Drums and horns bellowed, announcing the invasion's terrifying momentum. The initial advance was swift and brutal. Small Jin garrisons were swallowed whole by the human tide. Across the northern plains, their path was one of swift conquest. Jin defenses crumbled before them. Jin scouts reported a sight of unprecedented terror. An army of truly apocalyptic proportions was approaching. Dread spread quickly through the Jin command. The sheer numbers defied imagination, threatening to overwhelm everything. Early skirmishes were brief, bloody, and decisive. Jin resistance proved tragically insufficient against the juggernaut. Fortresses fell like dominoes, their walls unable to stem the flood. The Jin found themselves outmatched at every turn. A wave of refugees streamed south, carrying tales of an unstoppable force. Fear gripped the Jin heartland. Rivers became no barrier. Engineers swiftly bridged waterways, maintaining the relentless pace of the advance. Through treacherous mountain passes, the army snaked its way. No natural obstacle could deter their march. Fu Jian, confident in his destiny, personally oversaw the advance. His presence bolstered the morale of millions. The invasion force grew like a dark cloud, its shadow lengthening over the Jin territories. Conquest seemed inevitable. Inside the Jin capital, the War Council convened in an atmosphere of desperation. Every option seemed futile. The Fei River loomed as a final, desperate line of defense. But could any river stop such a tide? Every watchtower, every sentry, brought news of the approaching doom. The psychological toll was immense. Each warrior in Fu Jian's army, from seasoned veteran to reluctant conscript, was a cog in this vast war machine. Villages were emptied, fields abandoned. The terror of the former Qin advance preceded them like a plague. The Jin countryside burned. The invasion was not just military, but a humanitarian catastrophe unfolding rapidly. The Jin imperial court was gripped by fear. Its very existence hung by the thinnest thread imaginable. Even within the gilded cages of power, the shadow of invasion loomed large and terrifying. None felt safe. On strategic maps, the red tide of Fu Jian's forces seemed unstoppable. Jin territory shrank daily. The colossal invasion force pressed forward, a historical anomaly. Its momentum seemed to defy all resistance. Destiny seemed to beckon Fu Jian. His million-man army marched, confident in a conquest that seemed preordained. The stage was set. Along the Fei River, two empires stood on the precipice of destiny. Fu Jian's colossal army, numbering 1 million, cast an ominous shadow over the beleaguered Jin realm. For Jin, survival hung by a thread, a desperate gamble against overwhelming, insurmountable odds. In the shadow of impending annihilation, Jin's most brilliant minds wrestled with the impossible. Pressure mounted with each passing hour. The very fate of their dynasty rested on their shoulders. General Xie Shi, burdened by command, understood the gravity of the impending cataclysm. His nephew, Xie Xuan, Jin's tactical genius, sought not just survival, but improbable victory. Intelligence, the keenest weapon, became their most urgent priority amidst the looming chaos. Every scrap of information, every whisper from beyond the lines, was priceless for Jin. The vastness of Fu Jian's host was confirmed, a sprawling, seemingly endless sea of warriors. Amidst the chaos, a pattern began to emerge. Fu Jian's army, though vast, held hidden flaws. Detailed reports spoke of logistical challenges within the gargantuan Former Qin war machine. The Fei River, a winding lifeline, suddenly transformed into a potential stage for salvation. Through keen observation, Jin uncovered the former Qin army's profound internal divisions. A coalition of disparate tribes, their loyalties fractured, lacked cohesive unity and purpose. The enemy's morale, though high on paper, concealed underlying currents of doubt and distrust. Their strategy would exploit these vulnerabilities, turning former Qin's strength into its greatest weakness. The audacious plan took shape. Not merely defense, but a daring, calculated, preemptive strike. Psychological warfare, ancient and potent, would become their unseen, silent ally. Whispers of doubt, planted carefully, would fester within Fu Jian's multi-ethnic legions. Such tactics aimed to sow discord, unraveling the fragile bonds holding the enemy together. Subtle lies, expertly crafted, would exploit existing tensions among the diverse tribes. This gambit, fraught with peril, demanded unwavering courage and absolute conviction from all. They would choose the battlefield, not react to it. They would dictate the terms of engagement. The Fei River presented an ideal killing ground, a natural barrier ripe for tactical exploitation. Control of key crossings would be paramount, ensuring their maneuvers remained swift and decisive. Every man, every blade, every shield would be tested. Their fate rested on this single moment, a daring decision, born of desperation and brilliant foresight, was now irrevocably made. The enemy's immense size also meant a stretched supply line, a critical vulnerability. Targeting the vanguard before the main force could consolidate became a key element. A feigned retreat, a classic stratagem, would pull the enemy into a deadly ambush. Unity and clear communication within the Jin ranks were essential for this complex maneuver. Ambush positions, carefully chosen, lay in wait along the strategic riverbanks, unseen and silent. The weight of their decision, the lives of thousands, pressed heavily upon the commanders. They knew the risks. Failure meant total annihilation for their empire and people. The Fei River, a strategic prize, became the crucible where Jin's fate would be forged. Observing the enemy's crossing attempts, they noted Fu Jian's logistical overconfidence and haste. They would exploit this arrogance, turning the vastness of the enemy against itself. Every defensive measure, every strategic placement, was a desperate prayer for survival. 80,000 stood defiant against 1 million. The odds were unthinkable, yet hope persisted. The moment of truth approached. Jin's audacious gambit would soon be put to the ultimate test. Their resolve was iron, forged in the fires of desperation and unwavering loyalty. The banner of Jin flew high, a symbol of defiance against the colossal invading former Qin army. At the Fei River, history awaited. The miracle of survival would demand unimaginable sacrifice. 1 million strong, the former Qin army, led by Emperor Fu Jian, stood poised for conquest. Across the tranquil waters, the numerically inferior Jin forces, determined and unyielding, awaited the inevitable. Fu Jian, certain of victory, saw only a minor obstacle. He underestimated the Jin's strategic brilliance. The stage was set for a monumental confrontation, where destiny would be forged on the riverbanks. Knowing direct confrontation was suicide, Jin generals crafted an audacious, high-stakes maneuver for survival. The Jin sent a bold message: "Allow us to cross, then we shall fight properly." Fu Jian, convinced of his overwhelming numerical superiority, agreed to their seemingly foolish request. The feigned retreat began. Jin warriors, disciplined and stoic, subtly pulled back from the river. Clouds of dust masked their true intentions, creating the convincing illusion of a desperate, panicked withdrawal. Former Qin scouts reported the enemy's retreat, fueling their generals' already soaring confidence. Seeing the Jin withdraw, the former Qin leadership believed their grand host had already terrified them. Fu Jian, now certain of swift victory, commanded his massive army to push forward and secure the river. The former Qin army surged forward, a million-strong wave, eager to crush the seemingly fleeing foe. Eagerness quickly descended into disarray. The vast host became a bottleneck at the river's narrow crossing. Thousands upon thousands pressed forward, their sheer numbers creating an insurmountable, self-destructive obstacle. Commanders struggled, their shouts lost in the roar of the multitude, as order rapidly dissolved. Men and horses plunged into the icy depths, trampled by their own advancing comrades in the growing chaos. The triumphant march turned into a terrifying, uncontrollable surge, fear beginning to gnaw at their resolve. Then, with synchronized precision, the retreating Jin army suddenly turned, ready for their counterattack. No longer feigning flight, these hardened warriors stood their ground, a wall of steel and unwavering courage. General Xie Xuan, seizing the opportune moment, unleashed his disciplined and formidable Jin legions. With a thunderous roar, the Jin charged, a disciplined wave shattering the former Qin's chaotic vanguard. The element of surprise, coupled with brutal training, allowed the smaller Jin force to overwhelm. Caught in disarray, the former Qin soldiers faltered, their initial confidence replaced by utter shock. Amidst the chaos, a single, devastating cry ripped through the former Qin's crumbling formations. The words echoed, carried by the wind and fear. The Qin army has been defeated. A cold, visceral panic seized their hearts. The shouts spread like wildfire, infecting every soul. Soldiers, convinced of a total rout, turned and ran, colliding with those still trying to cross. Officers screamed, pleading for order, but their authority was swept away by the overwhelming tide of fear. The mighty former Qin army, once an unstoppable force, dissolved into a terrified, leaderless mob. The Jin, relentless in pursuit, unleashed a devastating counterattack, turning flight into a bloody massacre. Thousands threw down their arms, abandoning all hope, their grand invasion transforming into utter catastrophe. From his vantage point, Fu Jian watched in horrified disbelief as his empire crumbled before his eyes. His personal guards struggled against the tide of panicked soldiers, a desperate, futile effort to protect him. Wounded and broken, Fu Jian mounted his horse, abandoning his shattered dream of unifying China. His once invincible army now a broken rabble, Fu Jian began a desperate, ignominious flight. The Fei River ran red, choked with the fallen, a stark testament to the unimaginable scale of the former Qin defeat. The Jin, against all odds, had achieved the impossible, securing a victory that echoed through history. Their strategic genius, combined with unwavering courage, had defied the insurmountable odds. The miracle at Fei River secured the survival of the Eastern Jin dynasty against overwhelming invasion. It was a testament to how cunning strategy and disciplined execution can defeat overwhelming numerical superiority. The Jin soldiers, weary but victorious, knew they had fought not just for land, but for their very existence. The sun set on a shattered empire and rose on a triumphant dynasty, forever changing China's destiny. The Fei River, a strategic barrier, became the crucible where a miracle unfolded, legendary and eternal. The thunderous roar of battle faded, replaced by the screams of a shattered empire. Fei River's immediate fallout was catastrophic. Fu Jian's dream of unification, once so close, evaporated into the winter air. His grand ambition lay in ruins. The once mighty former Qin war machine, the largest of its age, disintegrated. Its diverse forces turned on themselves. Conquered peoples, held together by Fu Jian's iron will, seized their chance. Defections crippled the former empire's hold. Northern China exploded into a mosaic of competing warlord factions. The power vacuum was immense and deadly. The centralized authority of the former Qin evaporated. The north fragmented into a bewildering array of independent kingdoms. The disaster in the north allowed the beleaguered Eastern Jin to solidify their southern borders along the Yangtze. The Eastern Jin dynasty, on the brink of extinction, experienced a stunning and unexpected resurgence. Their morale soared. While cautious, Jin launched limited counteroffensives, recovering some lost ground and solidifying their strategic positions. Victory provided the Jin court with newfound confidence, fostering a period of political consolidation and cultural flourishing. Fei River cemented the enduring division between northern and southern China for centuries. Unification remained elusive. The battle definitively halted the ambition of non-Han rulers to unify China under their dominion at that time. This preserved the independence of the Han-led Jin dynasty, safeguarding traditional Han Chinese culture and institutions. Historians universally acknowledge the Battle of Fei River as one of the most decisive and pivotal in Chinese history. It postponed northern unification for generations, leading to the turbulent and fragmented southern and northern dynasties period. The miracle at Fei River demonstrated that even overwhelming numbers could be defeated by strategic brilliance and morale. The ensuing chaos in the north impacted countless lives, shaping the socio-political landscape for decades to come. Fei River recalibrated the trajectory of Chinese history. It was a turning point of immense, lasting consequence. The once vast administrative and military networks of the former Qin collapsed, leaving behind a power vacuum. Southern China continued its cultural and intellectual growth, largely insulated from the northern turmoil, thanks to this victory. The unexpected victory reinforced the belief in the Jin's mandate of heaven, securing their legitimacy and survival. The echoes of Fei River resonated for centuries, a testament to the power of resolve against seemingly insurmountable forces. Fei River was more than a battle. It was a miraculous pivot, forever altering the destiny of ancient China. The echoes of battle faded, but the Fei River's triumph forged a new destiny for the Jin dynasty, securing its future. This improbable victory not only saved the Eastern Jin dynasty, but ensured its survival for many decades. Decades of peace followed, allowing the Jin to solidify its rule and foster internal development and prosperity. Beyond the battlefield, the victory secured stability, fostering a golden age of southern Chinese culture. The distinct artistry, literature, and philosophy of the South blossomed, unburdened by northern conquest. The Jin victory allowed for the uninterrupted development of these unique cultural expressions for generations. The shared experience of survival solidified a distinct southern Chinese identity, strong and resilient. This victory defined their homeland, ensuring its unique heritage and cultural fabric endured through time. The Battle of Fei River yielded invaluable strategic lessons, forever altering military thought and doctrine. It highlighted the paramount importance of meticulous planning, strong leadership, and adaptable tactics in warfare. The brilliance of Jin's deception and psychological warfare shattered Qin morale, turning retreat into a decisive rout. Furthermore, it underscored how terrain and the intelligent use of natural barriers could turn the tide. This battle became a cornerstone in military academies, studied for centuries as a masterclass in strategy. It proved that numerical superiority was not insurmountable. Discipline and cunning could overcome vast odds. The victory emphasized the power of a unified command and the collective will of a determined, defending force. The Fei River stood as a timeless example of how courage and intelligent strategy define true martial prowess. Thus, the Battle of Fei River transcended history, becoming an enduring legend, a myth of triumph. It became the ultimate tale of the underdog's triumph, where a small, determined force defied all expectations. Against overwhelming odds, facing an enemy that dwarfed them in number, the Jin achieved the impossible. Their victory against a million-man invasion was a stark reminder that belief and resilience forge destiny. The legend of Fei River became a beacon of hope, inspiring generations facing their own formidable challenges. Its memory, etched into the annals of time, continues to resonate as a powerful symbol of defiance. Thus, the Fei River Miracle, a testament to courage, remains forever etched into the indelible annals of history. The Fei River, once a battlefield of blood and thunder, now flows as a silent, enduring testament. This is a story etched in time. Brilliant strategic genius against seemingly insurmountable odds. Beyond strategy, it was the unwavering, unyielding spirit of the Jin warriors that defied all expectations. United, a seemingly weaker force found indomitable strength, proving unity's profound and lasting power. The Fei River Miracle forever reminds us, no odds are too insurmountable for a determined people. This victory, a masterclass in military history, defines an era of incredible bravery and cunning. The battle reshaped Chinese civilization, ensuring its southern continuation and prosperity for centuries hence. We are invited to ponder the profound ripple effects of this single, pivotal confrontation on history itself. The Fei River compels us to delve deeper into other epic histories, legends awaiting rediscovery. Such tales of courage and intellect illuminate the human spirit across millennia. Join us. If this journey through the Fei River's triumph resonated deeply, please show your appreciation. Share your thoughts and insights, spreading this incredible story with fellow history enthusiasts worldwide. And for more epic tales from the annals of war, subscribe to our leading analysis channel, Legends of War and Empire, unearthing the past, understanding its timeless lessons. Thank you for watching.